Hey, here's the reality. Your good habits aren't helping you if this is the case here. So let's talk about it. All right. You hear me talk about habits a lot, right? What are good habits? What are bad habits? The reality is, your good habits aren't helping you if this is what's going on. And I'm not talking about your bad habits pulling your good habits down. There's some other things going on. Your good habits may be giving you the feeling that you're moving forward, and your bad habits may be reducing a little bit. Okay, so I mean, the reality is this isn't a yes or no. This is not a binary situation. This is a situation that we need to really closely diagnose in order to maximize what we're trying to get out of ourselves, out of our minds, out of our bodies, out of our business, out of our lives. I mean, there's a way to maximize this, and there's also a way to give yourself, even if you have the best habits, death by a thousand cuts. Okay? That's right. You're going to literally nickel and dime yourself to death, even though you're depositing dollars. You're like, I am killing it in my habits. I get up and go to the gym every day. My diet is awesome. I am making so many outbound sales calls. But here's the reality, there's something that's creeping in that you don't notice. And it's not creeping into those bad habits because you're hyper focused on those bad habits. And you're working hard on those good habits. So, what am I talking about here? How do we maximize those good habits and reduce those bad habits and not reduce the good habits? Well, here's the reality. There's room in between those habits. I call it habit gaps. There's space that you're not accounting for. There are things that you're not accounting for. Now, let me give you an example here. COVID is the perfect example of this. COVID is the perfect example of this because we were put in a different environment than we normally operate in, and we were told we couldn't go anywhere. So think about this, and I've noticed this with myself. I was a huge fan of doing this, okay? What do you do when you're bored? What do you do when you're bored? So you sit down and you get some work done. We're working at the kitchen table, the kitchen counter. Maybe we have a study, a spare bedroom, the back porch. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's the same place you do everything else. Maybe you're sitting on your bed working. Who knows? What happens? You get bored. What do we want to do when we get bored? We want a snack, don't we? Now, here's how I know this happened, because a great part of this world, and this is not like America or a certain city or whatever, a great part of the world gained a fair amount of weight during lockdown. Well, we go, well, I couldn't go exercise. No, really what happened was you ate wrong. And it wasn't your meals. It generally wasn't your meals because you were typically eating the same. Maybe you were eating a little bit less because you were full from all this snacking. But the reality is we started with a snack and we got a little bit more. And then we started bringing the snacks to where we were working. And then we sat there with the snacks, the chips, the cookies, the convenience food that's processed flour, sugar, things like that, stuff that did not grow on this earth or walk around on this earth. And I'm not trying to get all holier than thou in the diet, but this is an example of what happened. So how do I know this works when we find these gaps? Well, so a few weeks ago, my wife Kelly challenged me to lean out with her. I went down a little bit in weight. I went up a little bit in weight. I was all over the place during COVID. We were working out here. We were working out elsewhere. The gym's finally open, and we're like, yes. I'm like, I don't feel the same. She goes, because you changed your diet during all of this. It crept in on you. Instead of going and just getting one chip or cookie or cracker or whatever that delicious carb satisfaction was from the pantry, I would get a handful. Or I'd get more than what I had last time. Why? Because that's what we do. That's what we do. How much can you hold? I mean, eventually got to the point where I would see my kids. I have 3 college kids leaving with the container of stuff out of the pantry, and I'm like, this can't end up well. And of course, everybody starts talking about, oh, I'm eating too much or whatever. Yes, you are. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this in the rest of your day, in the rest of your in your mind, in your body, and in your business. We just talked about your body because simply put, your body's made in the kitchen. It's made in the kitchen. Yes, you have to exercise. And let me give you a really quick, easy exercise plan here. Really quick, easy one. Okay. Let me pull up the comments here so I can see what's going on here if I need to. All right. So, really quick exercise plan. Go do half-hour cardio. So, 30 minutes of cardio a day and lift some weights. Okay. That's it. Each day. So, spend an hour a day working on yourself, your body. You only get one, and you only get one chance. And I want to make a point here because you may eat well in your meals, but you eat bad in your habit gaps. And it does you worse during the day. Okay. I mean, you're not getting better. So I'm not telling you to eat bad in your meals because you're going to massively accelerate getting worse. But you might be going, oh, I'm eating really healthy, but you're snacking like crap. So what you're doing is you gradually increase. So you're gradually increasing. You can't even see my hand increasing right now because that's how much increase eating well does for you. It takes quite a while to get yourself healthy by eating right. Why? Because we're doing this with those habit gaps. We're going backwards quicker than we're going forward. This is like if you're saving money. You're saving money and you're like, I'm putting a penny in the bank every day. And then you go spend $1. You're like, that just took me over 3 months of putting a penny in every day by spending a single dollar. That's how your diet works. You're putting pennies in. Don't take dollars out. Okay. So exercise each day, eat healthy. How do you know how much to eat? Well, first of all, you got to drink a lot of water. That's healthy. Drink an ounce of water. You're going to hate me for this. An ounce of water per pound of body weight you got each day. So I drink well over a gallon a day, like a gallon and a half. You're probably, I mean, I don't make 200 ounces a day, but I'll tell you, I make well over a gallon a day, about a gallon and a half. The beauty is you're at home right now, so you don't have far to go. Okay. But that'll eliminate a lot of the garbage you put in your mouth and help your diet. The second thing is just eat lean protein and green vegetables. Try that. Try it for a week. In 1 week, I lost 10 pounds doing that. And I don't really have 10 pounds to kick around. So just focus on those things. Penny in, dollar out doesn't work. You got to put penny in, penny in, penny in, penny in. So speaking of penny in, dollar out, don't reward yourself in the same place that you're paying yourself. Okay. Don't reward yourself. So if you are working on your diet really hard, don't reward yourself by going and having cake. That does not help anything. Everybody's like, I get a cheat day. No, you don't. You have to fall within the parameters of your health and your diet. And you can reward yourself with some things that are healthy and a little bit tastier. But the reality is you can't go and penny in, dollar out. Okay, go reward yourself some other way. Give yourself some other form of reward in these things. So like in your business, if you're making a whole bunch of prospecting calls each day, let's say you're making 10 calls a day. Okay. A lot of you are like, I do that standing on my head. That's great. Maybe you're making 50 calls a day, whatever. You're making a whole bunch of calls a day. What you want to do is reward yourself not by making fewer calls. Reward yourself by going and doing something else. Maybe taking yourself somewhere. Maybe an adventure. Maybe this is when you go out for that nice steak. But don't stop doing what is making you great. There's a balance here, isn't there? There's a balance when it comes to the reward, the good habits, the bad habits, the habit gaps. But the reality is we have to watch our good habits, our bad habits, and incredibly importantly, what happens in between. So how do we do this real quick? You do an audit on your time. You do an audit on your, just take a lined piece of paper and every half hour, write the time. And what did you do? And was this productive? Was it a good habit? Was it something you're going to do tomorrow during the same time? Was it a habit gap? Or was it counterproductive, a bad habit? And if you did nothing counterproductive during that habit gap, that's okay. It's okay to rest. You don't have to have just a string of good habits. In fact, it'll drive you crazy thinking you have something every 30 minutes or every hour during the day. You got to have time, but don't fill it with reduction of good habits. That's gap creep. The gap creep, it gets bigger. It gets bigger. And what it does, it doesn't overtake those bad habits. It magnifies the bad habits. It takes over the good habits. So think about that. Look for where those habit gaps are. Do that for a week and figure out where you're going to end up. What direction are you going? Are you getting more productive or are you getting less productive? Are you getting more healthy or are you getting less healthy? Are you drinking more water or are you drinking less water? This all matters, and this will make a difference in your business massively, massively in your business, in your life, your health, your relationships. Think about it. Think about it. What happens in those habit gaps? That's what I got for you today. Have a great day. Love you guys. Thanks for all you do. Watch those habit gaps. Take care.